Have you ever questioned why God lets tragedy happen to the ones that love him the most? God's nature is pretty marvelous, how God shows love by letting Satan attack us. Just this last week, I wondered why God let me struggle for so long, only till I realized he geared me for a greater blessing past the storm. I'm in Orange. So in this fantasy examination, we're exploring why God's nature is to break us down to build us up via a classless hero. First, I should tell you how Bible Sama describes God for you as love, eternal power, strength, divine, gracious, steadfast, patience, omnipresent, constant, forbearing, kind, good, faithful, gentle, self-controlled, and shelter. God is many. Now this is a lot to remember, at least for me, but the few that really stand out are the loving, gracious, and faithful. Because Ardo, the piece de resistance, is born classless in a world where everything is determined by class, what's essentially your social status makes or breaks if you're even a working member of society. Like being born to Albert Einstein but not being anywhere close to his mental prowess. Being he's born to the sword god, which is literally saber from fate. He's commonly expected to be born with attributes of a sword god as well. But he's not. So why and how exactly is God gracious in this situation? I need us to understand something. God is gracious because he wants to be. God loves you since you're his child. God can really strike us down, take everything away from us, and destroy the universe and everything we know with the breath of his nostrils, let alone even saying a word. So when someone so powerful is watching over you, you should know there's no reason to worry. You should be anxious for nothing. The only thing you can really change by worrying is your health. Now, I'm no alchemist, but all the times I've worried, it's been over something that made zero sense. Like I once was stressing over pulling germs off of my hands with my hand. I was literally worrying myself to death, but since then I've thoroughly enjoyed this quote from a book, The Answers to Anxiety. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It keeps you busy, but gets you nowhere. You know how small a germ is, right? I was a germaphobe, but I don't know why I was doing that. Anyway, the point is, God isn't going to put you in any danger you can't handle. It's the reason why Ardell, despite not having a class in a family of prodigies, trained for the sword and magic, having no mana or sword abilities. Like how God is gracious with mercy even when we deserve more punishment. However, God's love and faithfulness is a different story. God shows love in the strangest ways to us. Knowing whether something is God's love and not a temptation relies on your faith and what God's love looks like. An example would be this scene from Chicken Run. This chicken, Frizzle, she was deceived by what looked like the chicken playground, which was really the most bombastic, high-security base meant to hypnotize chickens to produce chicken pies. Like, come on. Or a less dramatic way is discerning between an apple pie or an onion pie. Both look the same, but they'd smell different. The devil can hear too, so it's up to us to determine if blessings are blessings or if curses are curses. But here's where it gets strange. God can bless us with raining food or fish, but can also bless us with destruction. I know, crazy, right? The only way to success is failure. Whether that be mental, physical, or spiritual, it's like your friend, parent, or guardian letting you fail in a given situation because you were being hard-headed. Since it's better to be called to do something than to assume you're needed. So it's important knowing God's loving nature while being faithful to him because he gives respect where it's due. But as simple as this may or may not sound, the way that actually helped me see past my struggles and be more intimate with God and his nature was realizing he never really left. Remember back to the beginning of the video when I said God's nature. Love, eternal power, strength, divine, gracious, steadfast, patience, omnipresent, constant, forbearing. God is omnipresent. He's everywhere, all at once. From the formation of the world to the end of time, God is already. Like oxygen on the surface of the planet. This is important because if he's been there the whole time, he's the same reason you're still watching this video. He knows what you're going through, what you went through. And I'm sure you've heard that 1 billion times and counting. But you wouldn't have heard it this many times if he wasn't trying to let you know. He's there from your greatest achievements to the insanely thick plot armor of our main character, Otto. Like his plot armor is thicker than Eren Yeager's, bro. Like it can only be God, bro. But while that's a topic for the Discord, the second way that helped was realizing I can endure all things through Christ. A lot of people take this verse out of context. Yes, you can do anything within our mortal bounds through Christ. So obviously, don't jump in lava, because science says you're not coming out with breath in your lungs. You can sub though. But the verse's context was Paul imprisoned, saying he can only endure all things because of Christ. Like how Otto is constantly bombarded with a marriage certificate, essentially being taken advantage of because he's a sword god's son. That, or the plot armor he carries, somehow making him invincible.
上昇気流のイメージならトルネードの術式を足元にこうか
But it gets interesting. After realizing God's character or nature, the actual solution to experiencing his love, grace, and faithfulness is following his commandments. I'm not gonna fearmonger, but not following God's rules in both the New and Old Testaments didn't end well for anyone. I mean, in Leviticus, God literally says, if ye will not hearken unto me and will not do all these commandments, and if ye despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I will also do this unto you. I will appoint you terror, consumption, and the burning ague that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of the heart. So, following God's commandments is the most important and the easiest way to experience his grace, love, and faithfulness. But how you experience God, and that's worked for me, is listening to a still small voice in myself, helping discern between blessings and curses. Remembering worrying is like a rocking chair, that it keeps you busy but gets you nowhere, and that I can endure all things through Christ. Despite being classless, became the strongest through knowing who's inside of him and what God's nature is, giving him peace.